The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Video Games to the Max. As I'm your host, Sean Garmer, and here with me as always, Mr. Marc Morrison.
Howdy.
Well, this is episode 186 of the show, and of course we are the official video games podcast at W2Mnet.com, and we are in partnership with Last Word on Life and ForumMania.com as well. Sadly, since the last time we did the show, you will no longer have to worry about hearing a certain animal, as my dog passed away. It's probably about a week ago now. And yeah, so he will be forever immortalized in these old episodes where you hear him bark or something else. But yeah.
Hear him have sound like a heart attack in the last episode.
Yeah, he didn't live much longer after that, but it was weird because seemed like the medicine was actually getting him better. He wasn't coughing as much, and then all of a sudden that night, man. But sad. He's 12 years old, and it was his time, sadly. But
yep,
Valo's still going strong over there. So
yeah, I actually just took him to the vet like 2 or 3 days ago.
Just to check up, or
vaccinations. And he has like a weird rash on one of his legs. The doctor was just like, yeah, he's too fat, so when he sits, it's not huge, but the fur just a little bare on one of his legs, and he's like, yeah, when he sits, that's why it gets rubbing up.
Oh, okay.
He's not even that big. He's only 16 pounds, but
you gonna get him on a diet, or?
No, the thing is he's not fat. He's like a pretty stocky cat. Like, he's muscular.
Oh, okay.
So, not really much I can do. Like, a friend of mine, she took him. Well, she's the one who goaded me into taking him to the vet because she thought it was like a plastic allergy.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Well, at least it's not anything serious. So
yeah,
that's good. But
yep.
You have been playing some games.
And you have not.
I have not.
Yeah, I've been mopping up God of War. I took out all the Valkyries, all of them. That was fun.
How is it hard, I guess, or?
A few of them are really challenging, and the final one I had to bump it down to easy just to kind of make it through. I could have done it on normal, but I don't want to spend 3 hours, fighting this thing.
So are they is it like an actual story, or just like missions that you kill these?
No, they're pretty hidden boss fights, actually, like most of them. And yeah, now I'm just kind of mopping up I actually might platinum that game because it seems pretty doable. It's just kind of pretty repetitious. Like, a lot of them, it's just like, oh, go hunt all the Odin ravens. It's like, God damn it, there's 50 of these things.
What are those?
They're like just little collectibles. Like, you have to find them and just throw your axe at them and they die. But
okay.
They blend. If you don't notice them, they blend pretty well into the scenery occasionally. So, if you want to do that, you just have to follow a guide, or just going through each area and getting all the collectibles, stuff like that.
So is it really annoying to go back and? I'm guessing you have to go back through almost the whole game then.
Well, you can at that point you can fast travel, so that's pretty helpful. Like, not all the way, but most things you can just kind of. There's one area where I had to actually look up how to get back to, but that was about it. It wasn't that hard. And the other game I've been playing a little of is something called Dragon's Crown Pro.
Yeah, the beat 'em up game from Atlas, and it came out. What I want to say what, 4 or 5 years ago?
Well, had it maybe longer than that. I can look it up because it was like a PS3 and
yeah, that's right.
Yep,
Yes.
it was 5 years ago. August 6th, 2013.
Yeah, I had the original game.
So what did you think of it?
I liked it. Obviously, people were going to focus on the characters, the art style, but it was fun. But like any beat 'em up game, eventually it gets old, you know?
Well, a few things. I like the art styles. Like the actual in-game art is fine. It looks pretty nice. But some of the like shopkeeper stuff looks really bizarre. Like this magical woman, like her like measurements are so out of whack. She like it looks like freakish in a sense.
Oh, the wizard,
Yeah, she
the
like
witch
does, like,
lady.
yeah, she like repairs your equipment and like does stuff like that.
Yeah.
I pretty much got the game because a friend of mine wanted to play it co-op. Which I mean, the game's been out. It's not out till tomorrow, but the review embargo goes out like last week. But I haven't put it up because I want to see how well the online's going to work first.
I'm guessing you could play with you play with your friends co-op, and does it have any competitive?
No, it's just the same co-op like the last time. I don't know. I'm not sure if I like the game or not.
It's one of those that I played, beat it through once, and then took it back to traded it in. It wasn't something that I kept.
I guess I like the idea, but I find the combat system to just be very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Like I keep comparing it in my mind to Odin Sphere, and I'm just like, this game is like, even without like the whole food crap in Odin Sphere, like in Odin Sphere Life Browser or whatever the hell it's called,
right?
Like it had more depth to it. It's like
it did, yeah.
And this game, like, it just feels like very shallow in a sense.
That's what I thought of it. I always liked Odin Sphere for that reason, because it had some variety to it, some depth to it. That this game was just kind of like, that's why I said, like, I beat it just to beat the game and took it back because you don't want to play it again, even with a different character.
Well, I haven't beat this game, and I will eventually, but there's no real drive to. Like, it's just very all the missions are also like, they take like 5 minutes, and they're not hard. And you can also you can play it solo, or like you get bones in the game, and you can like resurrect like other characters, and they can fight with you, and that like makes the game like 10 times as easy.
I think that was something that they added later. I don't remember that being in the game originally, but. Yeah, I mean, if they added stuff to even make it easier, doesn't help. Are you playing on a harder difficulty, or are you playing on?
I'm just playing on normal. And also, like, I guess, like, I mean, I didn't play the game before, but like progress from the PS3 and Vita version carries into this game. So
I don't know why you would want that, because you basically don't have to do anything.
Yeah, like when my friend starts playing again, he has like a high level wizard character, and I don't know how much he's gonna want to play because he beat the game a few times already.
I'd imagine it's a little bit more fun with a person.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Also, I like when there's 4 characters on screen and then you're dealing with a bunch of enemies, I lose track of my character super quick.
Yep, because they all take up big parts of the screen.
Yeah. Like he described the game to me as like a golden axe of like the 21st century.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly it. And I didn't much like Golden Axe, so here we are.
Yeah, I mean, I like those kind of games, like back in the day.
Yeah, but they were predicated on like second quarters out, so that's why you could never beat them. And then also,
I loved playing Final Fight over and over.
I never got into that. I got into like all the Konami stuff, like X-Men and Street Fighter, not Street Fighter, X-Men, Simpsons, and like Turtles. That's about it for me.
Oh, well, Simpsons was always freaking great.
Like, it's not... I don't think Dragon Chron's a bad game, like, but it's just... I mean, maybe playing him would be different, but I'm just going through the game, like, yep, this takes 5 minutes, and there's a story that I don't care about at all. It's
God. The story's stupid.
And, like, I'm not finding any, like, cool gear, and... Yeah.
I think they just really banked on people loving the art style a lot, and that kind of carrying it through, and then forgetting about the game.
The in-game stuff looks good. Like, it animates well. I think it might look better than like original Odin Sphere, not the re-release. But yeah, when you go like talk to someone and you seem like dead on, like the portrait, it's like this is weird looking.
Yeah. Well, anything else you've been playing?
Not really. Just kind of putzing around with other crap. Not really playing a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I made it all the way into almost like to the end of Super. So, of course, talking about Dragon Ball, and yeah, I didn't. I mean, it's much better paced, I thought, than obviously Z was made in the 80s. So they had a different form of pacing that they had to go through. More like, we need to make this last a long time. So I think here they knew what they're trying to do, even though they could have probably. I could have done without the redoing the movies longer at the beginning with the.
Yeah, isn't like the Beerus and Frieza stuff each like at least like 20 episodes?
Yeah, and that's all in the movie. I mean, they add stuff in to make it worth lasting the episodes, but I could have just done without that.
Does Vegeta do an extended bingo dance?
Don't remember.
Oh man,
if he does.
That's the best thing about the Beerus movie is seeing him dance and act like a jackass.
Oh, I don't think he does. Oh, he does the cooking thing. I think that's about the most where he like starts cooking for Beerus to get him to not destroy the Earth or.
They might have changed that. They might have changed that for the show then, but the movie had him like getting on stage and trying to like sing and dance for Beerus.
That's great. So like I think they've only gotten to like the first 50 episodes is dubbed, and they're still catching up there. So I've watched I think like 40 of it with the sub.
Yeah, there's at least I want to say Super lasts like 130 episodes, maybe a little longer.
Yeah. I'm on like 95 or something. They're about to start the Tournament of Power. And
that's long.
Yeah. That thing, it took them I did like them introducing some of the other universe characters, like the younger, skinnier Saiyans. Like that was interesting, and
they get a cool moments. Yeah, Super lasts 131 episodes. So.
What's the one girl? That's Brawly. She turns into, right? I'm not like.
It's like a weird, not clone, but like she just looks like Brawly for some reason. But she has boobs.
Yeah, I was just kind of like, that's a really deformed woman that you want her to turn into. Like, all right, whatever. That's different. This
is a small spoiler, but at some point the two female characters merge, and that's a pretty good character.
Okay, that's cool. I'm guessing that they're in a tournament or something.
Yeah.
Well,
it's actually my favorite. It's probably my favorite fight of the whole like series.
I will try not to talk too much about it because I know there's people that are only watching the dub, so
learn to read.
Yeah, they're still in the middle of like Goku Black thing, so that was interesting.
Yeah, that lasted too long and got kind of too complicated.
I think it was them trying to show that they can do story and not just, hey, here's us fighting. And
the only other spoiler is you haven't seen her yet, but there's like a character in a universe in what you're going into that is hilarious. Like the universe of love.
Oh, I think they showed her is it the character that's like this, like, you know, sort of supposed to be a hot looking chick and then she turns into this like fat.
Yeah.
Like Brienne to like Re-Brienne or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
The total like Sailor Moon ripoff, which is great.
It was awesome. I was like, well, that just came out of nowhere. All right. So, but yeah, I guess I'll probably be finished with that by the time we get done next week, and then
you can go buy
GT and then be done.
And then you can go buy Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Maybe. I'm not a big fighting game person, but perhaps I will just for the story.
That story goes on. It's about as long as the fucking arc of Dragon Ball. So.
Oh, really? So what, like a 50 episode game?
Well, there's like 3 story arcs, and each arc has like 20 chapters in it or whatever. So it's like, oh man,
Jeez.
This is long. That's why I didn't finish that game.
I guess they really wanted you to feel like you got your money's worth or something.
Like I think I made it to like halfway through the villain saga, and I was like, I'm kind of done.
Did you see that it's the #1 game at EVO?
Oh yeah.
No. So, hey.
That's not a surprise to me. Like, it's not going to be Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Well, I mean, it even beat Street Fighter. I think that was like they said the first time in a long time that Street Fighter's been displaced as the #1 game at EVO. So
yeah, but even though they somewhat fixed Street Fighter V, it's still not what everyone likes.
Yeah, I mean, so Bandai Namco has that going for them. Getting out of the fighting game stuff for a second here, a big rumor run around this morning. We're actually doing this at like the afternoon, so
it's actually daylight for once while we do
this.
Yeah,
we're actually like being able to look. I can look out my window and see light outside. So Eurogamer posted a thing on Twitter this morning about they had heard that Retro Studios, of course, the team that made the just released Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze and the Metroid Prime trilogy, they are making a Star Fox racing game called Star Fox Grand Prix. None of this has been completely confirmed. I think that some of the news outlets are trying to not get themselves in trouble, is basically what they're doing, which I understand. This is what you do as a if you write any kind of news. If you're given information, you can't really, especially with E3, like right around we're basically a month away from E3 right now. If you break embargoes or break anything like that, you can get in trouble. So, and it sucks because it's like that for news. You're not supposed to, you're supposed to break the news, but then they don't want you to break the news either. So, it's supposed to be kind of like Diddy Kong Racing and F-Zero as well. So, I guess that's cool if you can get a mix between the two. But why can't we just have a new F-Zero?
No recognizable characters?
Outside of Captain Falcon, yeah. Well, plus you don't see the characters. You just see their racing things. So...
the thing I saw was like someone commented on Twitter. It was like, yeah, Star Fox is great. The last Star Fox game you couldn't play with 2 screens, and the one before that sucked as well. Also,
I don't mind this. Like, if they want to,
I do. Like, I think it's a bad direction for Star Fox.
But he hasn't. I mean, he has at least, I want to say, like 8 or 9 characters that you can justify doing one.
I think only Mario Kart works, and like Sonic to a lesser extent, but Mario Kart really works because you care about those characters. You couldn't name more than 5 characters in fucking Star Fox franchise. I mean, I could. You probably could too. But most normal people couldn't. They'd be
if you didn't play the 64 game, you can't name anybody.
I guess Star Fox is one, and then that's about it.
Slippy, Falco. Well, Falco, people would know from Smash Brothers.
Yeah, and maybe a Star Wolf. That's about it.
Yeah, Star Wolf and Peppy and Slippy, and I don't know. I think is that one that's really annoying. Is that one just named Piggy, or I can't remember.
Pigma, I think.
Yeah, Pigma. Okay, that's the only ones I remember.
There's like Andrew is one. He's from like Star Wolf's team, and they have like a fourth member also. But
yeah, and I mean, I'm sure like some of the bosses might be, might fly some of the planes or whatever. But like, I don't know. I don't mind this if this is the only way we're gonna get like an F-Zero light or whatever. But still.
Yeah, it just seems like a needlessly bad direction.
I guess they got scared from the last one that they don't want to do another one.
I just think about Star Fox Zero. Like that was bad.
People were so excited for that, and then it turned out, nope, not good. The 2-screen thing was annoying.
And also that Star Fox guard thing, like they had to pack it in because they couldn't even like try to like charge for it.
I think he just included that because they had that mostly done, and they just said, "Here, let's put this in there." Like, needless, but I don't know. I feel like Retro Studios could be doing so much more, and we're having them do this.
Yeah, they could be cranking out yet another Donkey Kong game.
Or, I mean, you're not having them work on Metroid for some reason, so hopefully the new Metroid is good then. But yeah.
They can bring back their gritty reinterpretation of Ice Climbers.
Oh, that's in one of the rumors we'll get to in just a second. Somebody thought this was like a big deal that people need to announce, but yeah, so of course with E3 being pretty close to around the corner at this point, I'm having to talk with I haven't talked to Mark, but I've talked to various other people on the staff about what to do for E3 and, still kind of throwing that around. But, of course, we'll still be doing the podcast. What?
My job is clear. Make fun of it all.
Exactly. You will recognize Mark by the avatar in the video.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so there's E3 leaks. In various places. Walmart Canada was one of them. So I'm going to say this now. If you don't want to be, if for some reason you're one of those people that like listens to podcasts but you don't look at news, might want to like go away for a little bit or something, because some of E3 is probably going to get spoiled for you. But now it totally makes sense, because the last time that Square Enix had a E3 press conference, guess what got announced? Just Cause 3. So Just Cause 4 is one of the games that's being announced. I guess it's time for that. You liked 3, didn't you? Or
I thought it was fine. Some people seemed really down on it for some reason. Like, I thought it was better than what some people said. I think the problem with those games is, or the problem really with 3 was it was just too big in a sense. Like, you just kind of get overwhelmed by the map. And it's like, there's a lot of fucking red on this map that I don't really want to clear out.
Yeah, man. Like, let's just hope that Square Enix, I mean, they lost Hitman, so that's one of their sort of more Western-type games. I
mean, Just Cause is always like a fun game, though. Like,
right.
I mean, if they make another one, sure. I didn't really think Just Cause 3 sold that well, though, but I guess it did.
And it's kind of like Tomb Raider. Maybe perhaps sold well, but not well enough for the standards that Square Enix has. Speaking of Tomb Raider, that'll be one of the big games, along with Kingdom Hearts 3, and then who knows? There's everybody. Of course, everybody is getting their hopes up way too high for info on Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm going to hold my breath for that.
3 things. They said that Tomb Raider game is costing $100 million to make.
Yes.
The movie didn't cost that much. I don't think.
Well,
I assume they'll be showing the film. I mean, the Avengers game.
yeah, that would be one of the surprises because we heard nothing of it. And the movie just came out, so...
I saw some post that, like, I think it might have been some video talking about Final Fantasy VII, like, being in trouble, or, like, some translated thing, and, like, it was basically, like, we're hoping to have this game finished by 2023, and they weren't kidding. Like, you and I joked about that game, like, not being out for, 5 years or whatever, but some dude from Square was, like, being serious, like, we're hoping. And also that, like, the composer is going to be back for it.
Yamato?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, he's kind of getting up there in age. They might want to make sure they record his stuff soon. Like, I mean, good for him. He still goes out to some of the when they do the concerts or whatever. He still goes and whatnot. But like, seriously, I mean, let's be.
I mean, he's only 59, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are just getting their hopes up way too much for this game. Like, just if you thought it was going to come out soon, especially once they changed it, then they went back on it, then they go, oh, well, it wasn't supposed to be a full game, and then we decided to because so many people were excited. Like, you got to be kidding me. Like,
see, I thought it was really weird. Like, not at the time, but now looking back, that, like, when they announced it, they were having CyberConnect 2, like, help out, or, like, basically do the game. And it's like, you're having the Hyperdimension Neptunia guys make Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then, like, 3 years later you take it from them because it's not shaping up well. It's like, I could have saved you 3 years, just said it's not going to work.
They've made other ports, though, that weren't too bad, but that was the thing. Like, I think originally they were just going to make it an up-res port, or up-res, like, remaster, and then they go, oh, let's just do this whole thing over.
Well, no, because that video that trailer they showed, like, a few years ago, that looked pretty much like Final Fantasy 15.
Right, yeah,
like,
I had the different...
Like, action-wise. Like, not, like, character or anything like that, but, like, the whole, like, Barrett moving around is like, this looks like, some Final Fantasy 15 dude.
Well, and Cloud, the way he was sort of attacking, too.
Yeah.
Well, they got to get their crap together with it. It's probably going to perhaps halt. There's probably another reason why you're seeing them continue to do so with Final Fantasy 15, not only because of how long that was in development, but also because, God forbid, they try to make a 16 right now with the way the 7 remake thing's going. So,
well, 15 is easier. I mean, they have the assets for, like, a lot of that stuff. I mean, they have to build the environments, but they got, like, character, the work's already been done on designing, the bad guy for that game, so they can shove him into some new environment and go here.
Right. Very easy for them to put out the content, but yeah. So Just Cause 4, Gears of War 5, which isn't too much of a surprise. I think at this point it's been long enough, and a lot of people liked Gears of War 4.
See, I don't know about that one. Like, that game just kind of really seemed to, like, kind of come and go.
Like, people liked it when it came out, but I think the thing was it didn't have that long-lasting effect. Like,
yeah.
People played it, put it down, and that's it. It didn't have... I think they also changed the multiplayer in that game, and that's part of the reason why it didn't have that, like, lasting potential after you get through the story like the other ones kind of did. Of course, also people are kind of over horde mode at this point. It's now, the battle royales and everything else. So that could be another factor. Splinter Cell, which at this point is not even a spoiler. They've basically told you everything but, hey, it's coming.
I did end up doing that stupid Sam Fisher mission in Wetlands. Or Wildlands, sorry.
Yeah, did you... What, you get, like, his goggles or something, right? Or
yeah, and they only work in multiplayer, so that's fun.
Seems like such a waste.
Yeah.
Of course, they were the first ones to leak the Rage 2, which Bethesda announced this morning, with the gameplay reveal coming tomorrow. The trailer looks like Mad Max 2, basically. In a not great way.
Yeah, I don't want to play Rage 2. I didn't want to play Rage 1. I want to play this one.
I remember people liking Rage 1. Apparently it sold well enough for them to make a Rage 2, but y'all took your sweet time to make that Rage 2.
Well, they had to work in hyper mega textures for this game, so.
Oh, well, they also had to work on Doom, apparently, too. That's why they didn't, but... Hey, I mean... Hey, if they can get it to work, why not? Bethesda knows how to make good games, so I have faith in them. Lego DC Villains, we already knew about. And Borderlands 3, again, one of those games that they've done everything but go, here's Borderlands 3 at this point.
Yep, they've made 4 shitty products between Borderlands 2 and 3, so this is all they got left.
The prequel game was fine. It wasn't shitty.
I mean, it was okay. It just seemed really needless.
I agree. I mean, if you really wanted the story of, what's his name?
Handsome Jack.
Yeah, that badly. It's at least Telltale redeemed them with the Tales from the Borderlands. But I think I would say that's the last great Telltale.
Oh yeah.
One. I mean, the Batman one seemed to be being received well.
I tried. Well, I don't know. I tried to play the first Batman on my computer, and just the action gameplay was so disconnected and disoriented from what you're trying to do that I just put it down. I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. This game's not meant for action, and you're trying to cram an action scene into this, and it just does not work.
Well, I get what they're trying. Yeah, you totally get what they're trying to do, but sometimes you gotta. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy. They had to do different stuff with it because they couldn't just have action all the time because it doesn't work. But I'm still waiting on Wolf Among Us 2 to get something. That's the one I'm holding out for, that they can come back to being great. We'll see. Nintendo also got leaks, but I think these are a little bit more maybe this is happening, maybe not kind of thing, because this is from one person, whereas the other one was just a retail outlet kind of putting up placeholders.
Yeah.
So take all this with a grain of salt. Don't just go, hey, you just spoiled a bunch of crap. But I'll just go through these, and then we can talk about how likely you think these are. New Paper Mario, I think that's
probably
a very likely.
I mean, it's not what I want, but people seem to like that franchise.
Yeah, I think with usually they follow that trail of a 3D Mario followed by a 2D Mario, and then.
Although didn't the last Paper Mario suck hard? Wasn't it Sticker Star or something like that?
Yeah, Sticker Star wasn't too great from what I remember. But
yeah.
They have others that people have loved to death, so they can redeem themselves on Switch here. Mario Odyssey, they have never said that they stopped doing DLC for it, so this is possible that they let you play as Luigi, Wario, and Waluigi, with each of them getting 70 moons. Each character getting 70 moons added to the game.
I could see that. They already have costumes set in place. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to just kind of, here's a new Mario model, and just taller or oddly shaped, and yeah.
It'd be cool if you could do co-op with them, but yeah, getting to play as somebody else would be kind of cool too.
I don't know if you saw it. There's this online N64 Mario 64 game, and I saw a trailer of it today, and they added in. Mario. You can play as Mario, Luigi, Wario, Waluigi, Peach, Rosalina, Goomba, Kirby, Sonic, and Knuckles.
Wow.
And like most
cool.
of the characters had different like abilities and stuff. It looks really weird.
Imagine if they could do that, and Nintendo would actually. You know what? I think at this point, Sega would be so happy to see if let Nintendo have a crack at Sonic and see if they can do it right. But
They just make another 2D Sonic game, probably.
yeah, probably. Didn't they also discover that like Mario 64 had like a battle royale map or something? And I think I saw that somewhere. It was like, wow, it took y'all that long, but that's cool.
Yeah.
Call of Duty Black Ops 4 multiplayer would only be the battle royale, no other multiplayer options.
That for the Switch or just in general?
Switch.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, because they're not. I mean, it's possible that Fortnite, for Switch gets announced at E3 or something like that. I could see that happening as well. But yeah, with Nintendo kind of being the system that's void of that right now, I could see them trying to figure out something with Call of Duty where, hey, you don't have a story mode, so why not just give us a battle royale and it has your name on it? People will buy it.
Yeah.
Sega announces the first 2 Ages collection games in their Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. The ones that were on the Dreamcast that were later ported over to the GameCube.
Great.
I could see that. I like those games.
Go back to them now.
Oh, yeah. Now they probably don't play.
Even back then, like I was playing Sonic Adventure 1, and I was like, okay, playing as Sonic in these action levels is cool. Why do I do it so not frequently?
Yeah. They have you walk around a lot trying to find the...
And then you have to play as like 5 other characters who range from being okay to completely sucking ass.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh man, this game's terrible.
Oh.
Like, even at the time, I thought like the game like was like 1.5 an okay game. It was like the Sonic levels are okay, and like E102 Gamma was fine enough, and that was about it.
I think I remember getting pretty far in 1. I don't remember playing too much of 2. The thing that stands out to me the most was like they had the virtual pet thing on your Dreamcast.
Yeah, the Child Garden.
Yeah, the memory card thing. I remember that from that game.
And then if you actually like transferred your child to it, like the VME battery life was like 3 hours.
Now this one I could see because it's a very nice way to introduce the series to a different system without having to just be new right from the start. But Pokemon Switch not really being a new series and being more like a different take on Red and Blue with graphics between the 3DS
Hello?
and Pokemon Tournament. Hello? Yeah, so I mean, what do you think about this? Do you think that this is a good idea to have something that kind of looks like in between the 3DS graphics of Pokemon Tournament, and it's not? I mean, I'm sure there's going to be people that are going to be mad if it's this and not a new game in the series, but it's still better than getting like a Pokemon Coliseum or something.
But it's the same idea. Like, why not just make a Pokemon game for the Switch?
But that's what this is, right? It's Red and Blue on the Switch. Sort of.
Like, yes, the sort of is the problem. Or just make a new game, not.
Well, I don't know what a new take on Red and Blue means.
No. It doesn't have to be Red and Blue.
Yeah.
Just make a new game. Divorce it from all the Red and Blue and Pearl and Charcoal or the bullshit they have. Just make a Pokemon game.
Yeah, just tell it Pokemon Switch.
Yeah.
And you can start a whole new thing of colors or whatever way you want to do it, and then you can still have the old one on 3DS.
Pokemon's been out for 25 years? 20 years?
Yeah.
Almost. At least since like 95 at least. Like, there's never been a traditional console Pokemon game. And Coliseum doesn't count, and all the other crap doesn't count. Pokemon Snap is cool, but that still doesn't count. If they want to make a new Pokemon Snap game, I'd be all for that. But that's about it. Like, just make a console Pokemon game.
Yeah, like
I mean, Kirby started off as a handheld franchise, and they ported it to the NES, and they made it better.
yeah, and people seem to like Star Allies well enough. So I mean, it's proven that you can do it. If you're gonna go through all this to announce it a year before and everything else, it needs to be akin to what you see on the 3DS, or I think you're going to get a lot of... I mean, it's still going to sell, right? You're going to get people that are going to get angry and they're still going to buy it. But I don't think it's going to have the same cachet that if you would have just made it.
Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's coming to Switch.
Yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I would hope if it comes to Switch, it's going to be like all 5 of those games in one package.
Yeah, they should, because it's kind of run its course by now.
Well, it also cranked out like 3 games in like 1 year. even by Capcom standard, that's going a little crazy.
Apparently, this series has books and people really like them. But
I'm sure. I mean, it's such a little like media empire now. Like, I'm sure they're still trying to crank out that movie they talked about like years ago.
Oh yeah, they're still trying to do that movie because I think when like Funko just did their everybody just did their whole Q1 whatever quarter this is financial thing, and they said that Five Nights at Freddy's is one of their biggest sellers, which is why they have so many freaking waves of them. So. You can imagine that the books sell well and all this other stuff does, so...
Yeah.
It being on Switch probably going to help them a lot. The last thing is there's going to be 2 different trailers for Smash Brothers, which wouldn't surprise me at all. Basically 2 different character trailers. And that the Ice Climbers will get announced on the Treehouse, because, they're that important. I mean, wasn't it... When was the game that they took the Ice Climbers out and everybody got mad?
I think they were in Melee, and they took them out for Brawl.
Yeah.
And they haven't been back since, which is fine. Like, they were a bad character.
I know, I agree. It's like, why are you people getting mad about bad characters? Like, okay.
Like, if you're gonna bring back a character, bring back, like, Mewtwo.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. So... Yeah, that was your E3 leaks for this week. Interesting stuff. We'll see that if by the time we get to June 9th or 10th, which apparently Nintendo's already said they're going to announce before their E3 thing, some special thing for Splatoon 2. So we'll see how that goes. So you use Steam a lot.
Yep.
Now they're going to have the Steam Link as an app on your phone next week.
Yeah.
Do you think this will work any better than the Steam Link on the peripheral?
Well, it depends on how good the app is, I would say. But it was funny. I think 3 weeks ago, I got an email from GameStop going like, "Oh, review your Steam Link purchase." They're like, "Tell people what you think of it." And it's like, I bought it last year for $5. I used it once, and that was it. Like, the problem with Steam Link is it's all big picture stuff,
right?
Which I assume this thing will be the same way. Like, it'll only be like, you can only use your big picture games, and it's like, okay, my Steam library has 2,000 games. My big picture library has 300. So it's like, that's quite a difference.
Yeah, I mean, and of course you also had the limited thing of the PC has to either be hardwired in or it has to be on a 5 gigahertz network, which that's not everybody. So
also, I imagine the devices that support this thing will be pretty small, or at least support it well. Like, I'm sure every phone will be able to try to use it, but there's a difference between able to use it and then able to use it well.
I agree with you. Yeah, you got to have probably the newest phone in order for this to work very well, and it's not going to have a way for you to just use your phone for touch controls. So you're going to have the Steam controller or some other controller. And yeah, I just don't.
I can still always use my old SNES Bluetooth controller I bought from like 8BitDo or something.
I think they did officially make the Switch Pro controller usable with Steam now. So
yeah,
which is awesome because I love my Pro controller. So
I don't have one. I actually, a friend of mine said like, "Oh, that's the best way to play Mario," and it's like, well, unless you want to grab one for me, I'm not going to be able to play Mario with that thing.
If you ever have money to spare,
yeah,
it's well worth the investment. Or if they ever have a sale or something.
I've seen them for it was only $55, which isn't that bad, but
yeah,
controllers are expensive.
Exactly. That's why I only ever get one.
I got like an extra PS4 controller because it was on sale once for like $25 new. I was like,
right.
Sure, but that's about it.
Well, God of War, of course, shouldn't surprise anybody that God of War sold very well. It sold 3.1 million copies in its first 3 days, making it the PS4's fastest-selling exclusive game ever, and it's the fastest-selling title in the series history in the UK. That's also not that surprising, but I mean, hey, that's good for God of War, and I'm sure this, along with pre-planning for what they want the game to be, has led Cory Barlog to discuss. He discussed it on a Kotaku podcast called Split Screen, which is actually pretty good if you ever want to go listen to it. It has Jason Schreier and I forgot the other guy's name on it every week. He goes on to clarify that he didn't really mean that for sure there's going to be 5 games, but that there are going to be plenty of games to come in the God of War series. But his thing is he wants to figure out how to make these faster, because they all can't take 5 years, because they can't take 25 years to do this whole series. So,
I'm sure the PS4 will be around for that long.
I mean, they already had to go on there because Sony finally announced that they were doing it on, was it the Monday night before their E3 conference, and they had to actually clarify that there will not be any kind of PS5, because that was a rumor that was going around at the beginning of the year that PS5 was going to be shown.
I actually think like the PS5 and whatever new Xbox thing is like at least 2 years off.
I agree, because they still want, first of all, you got to get the 4K TVs low enough, I think, to be able to get people to want to buy that parcel, to buy it with, because at this point the PS5s are kind of like if you're trying to play your PS4 on a tube TV. So it's just not going to play the same if you try to play your PS5 or Xbox whatever on a regular HD TV, I think, at this point. So I think they want to make sure that the 4K TVs are affordable enough to where most people have one and they'll want to buy the new system, but
yeah,
or also that they just came out with the Pro and Xbox
the One X. Yeah,
and gotta let people breathe a little bit. I mean, it's not, and none of this is really surprising. But do you really think there's gonna be 5 games?
I could see 3.
Yeah,
I mean, the original God of War that had like technically I want to say like 6 because of all this like the PSP
the 2
games.
PSP games, yeah.
But like you only needed 1, 2, and 3. Honestly, even Ascension, like it was very unneeded.
Well, and then plus you had 2 on the PS2, and then you had the 2 on the PS4 or PS3.
That's what I meant. That second PS3 game was Ascension, and that people didn't like that one too much.
That's ironically 1 and Ascension are the only 2 God of Wars I ever beat completely. So
I haven't beat any of them actually, like except for this new one, obviously. But I just always got bored like halfway through, even earlier than that. Usually, I'm just like, I'm just gonna put this down.
Yeah. I don't know why I got like far enough in Ascension where I was like, you know what, damn it, I'm just gonna finish this game. Normally I'm not like that, but I don't know why for that game I was. But, I mean, good that they're still continuing. Obviously, it'd be stupid of them not to if it's selling this much, but...
I imagine that they have a lot of the motion capture work done for Kratos and Atreus, assuming like Atreus is like I assume will be in the next game.
Right.
They can get those actors in if they want to do more, like different actions. But they could probably build a God of War game quicker than this one if they really wanted to.
I'd imagine that Atreus would change some because they wanted to be older. So perhaps he, holds his bow a different way, or
well, the actor might grow up because I think the actor's only like 12 or something. Also,
yeah.
Or they just get like a different actor. I mean, like a 17-year-old or whatever. That's kind of about it. I imagine the second game will be about Thor, and the third game will be about like Odin.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. They need to get those big characters in the Norse mythology out there.
I imagine the second game, I'm going to kind of lightly spoil God of War.
Well, I don't know how many people are listening that might want to play the game. And
well, in the second game, I'll just say that I imagine in the second game, like, your son starts to turn evil, and in the third game, like, he's fully evil, and you might take him out also.
Interesting take. Like having to get your son back to the way he was, or
I guess like corrupted by Odin or something.
That could happen too. Or what's the Norse god of evil? Or
well, kind of Loki, but
yeah, Loki. Yeah. I've not seen Ragnarok, and so. Is Hela supposed to be...
That's like the god of death.
Okay.
I mean, they could bring her, or or whatever.
Both of them together, or something like that. So, I haven't been... One thing that surprised... Well, I guess shouldn't surprise me, but still surprises me that we're still having these two do video game movies. But... Monster Hunter is getting a movie, and guess who's playing one of the roles? Mila Jovovich from all the Resident Evil movies, and we know how well those turned out. And, of course, her husband, Paul W.S. Anderson, is directing it.
And writing it.
Oh, God. So the film's apparently budgeted around to be $60 million. It's going to shoot in South Africa. And apparently there's a parallel world where the monsters invade your world, or our world, whatever. And, that's the premise for the story.
I like his ability to completely... Say what you want about Uwe Boll, like he was a bad director and bad writer and everything.
Yeah.
His movies at least had the internal logic of adapting the material, the source material.
Right.
Like they were terrible movies, all of them. But he at least was cognizant of to go like, okay, Postal is a dumb ass game. So here's a dumb movie based on it. Or like House of the Dead had zombies. It had a D, I think, or I think the character's name was D at some point. Like, this is so far not a Monster Hunter thing. It's impressive. And he made 6 Resident Evil movies. They had fuck all to do with the actual game franchise. It's like, why does Capcom let him do this?
I don't know.
Also, $60 million seems like a very low number to make a Monster Hunter. Considering how big that franchise is now, like, him doing that would seem to be, like, hurting the franchise.
Well, if they're doing a lot of stuff CG,
Yeah, but 60 million doesn't buy that much CG anymore, or good CG. Let's say that.
It is Capcom.
And then the final thing is like Mila Jovovich used to be a good actress. The key word is used to. Like she hasn't.
And then movies where she's in there with her husband excuses her from
acting.
Yeah.
Like she hasn't done anything good, at least in the past decade.
What, since like Fifth Element?
That was like 15 years ago, or actually 20 years ago, because Fifth Element was like 97, I think.
I liked her kind of okay in Ultraviolet.
Oh man.
I don't.
No.
I still state that like the Resident Evil, the first one, was fine, and like after that, it just derailed. But
see,
yeah, go ahead.
I reject that premise because I played the Resident Evil game and I was like, this doesn't have an Alice character in it unless she's an unlockable. Like, I'm pretty sure she's not in here. So why did he gin up? Like, and also they're just in like the underground lab, like for all of that movie, I think, right? Like the whole goal was to like get out.
Yeah, for the most part. Mm-hmm. And then the second one's where they get out in the city and
yeah, and it's all torn up. You know, that was like the whole. That's supposed to be like Resident Evil 2 or 3.
Right.
I think,
yeah, because Nemesis shows up.
Yeah.
And Jill.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah. So yeah, like him. Like also, it's just a faulty premise on its face because it's like that's not what Monster Hunter is at all. Like it's people go. It's like these like young people going to like the new world, like a new area, and fighting monsters. That's I mean, it's a thin premise, but you can build on that. I don't want to see like fucking. Yeah, you don't need to see them invading. Like,
well, I don't want to see like tanks and helicopters shooting down monsters. It doesn't need to be Rampage 2. Especially since Rampage didn't make that much money in the first place and cost more to make.
Did anybody expect Rampage to make money?
And it had an actual like a box office actor in it.
Yeah, I mean, The Rock probably made that sort of worth seeing. I don't. Yeah, I just don't know why we had to have this like what so. You can't have the same premise as the game where they just go somewhere and they're hunting the monsters. Like, why do they have to be invading Earth?
Look at his. Well, two things. Rampage cost $120 million to make, so that's double what this movie cost. And Rampage looked like a hunk of shit. So, this one's gonna look real good.
Oh God, and especially with all the weird. Like, at least they had easier monsters that they had to make. Like,
yeah, they had to make a big ape.
Yeah, this one, good Lord, I don't want to know what they do with half the monsters.
The second thing is, Paul W.S. Anderson has made, I want to say at least 3 or 4, like, different game franchised movies. Because he made Resident Evil, obviously. He's going to do Monster Hunter. He did Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat was
he,
good.
Like, executive produced, like, the Dead or Alive movie. But he didn't, that's separate. But he wrote he wrote at least 4 or 5 Resident Evil movies. His best film was Mortal Kombat, which is the one that most closely followed the game franchise, the game story. It's a bunch of people fighting in a tournament. That's all you need. He also didn't. I mean, they weren't married at the time. But he didn't shove his wife in there also.
Yeah,
that helped.
I don't. And like, you're also again having to shoehorn a character in there because you're using created characters.
Yeah.
At least Monster Hunter World. I don't know how that is in every other. I'm guessing every other Monster Hunter was the same way.
Yeah, Monster Hunter, you create characters. So, I imagine she'll be like either some like tough as nails military commander, or she'll be like some mom and her son her kid gets kidnapped by some monster and she has to
Or
fight it off or
she'll just
something.
be Laura Croft,
Yeah,
Monster Hunter.
or she'll have amnesia for like 6 movies for no good reason.
That too. God, they apparently want to kickstart a franchise with this, so.
Or like kick it to death is what they mean.
Please don't ruin the. Like, what I'm more worried about is that this movie, of course, it's down the line, so they could have another Monster Hunter game out by then, but. Like, I just hope that this wouldn't ruin people not wanting to play the game because the movie was so bad.
Okay, yeah. I'm looking on his Wikipedia page. He's directed 12 movies, like 12, like what you'd like,
where you credit
overall
him with the
directing. Yeah. Guess which movie has best Metacritic?
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
So what?
That was from.
What other movies besides the game movies is he?
Event Horizon, which I liked. I mean, it's campy, but it's okay. Alien vs. Predator, he did that hunk of shit. His aside from that, his highest rated film was Resident Evil: The Final Chapter, which got 49%, which is weird. Bizarre. And then Soldier, the Kurt Russell. Oh no, Death Race that got 43%.
Okay, that was fine. I didn't think it was terrible.
If they want to do something cool with Monster Hunter, give it to Paul Thomas Anderson.
Well, I'll wait for a trailer, I guess, where they can't screw that up too bad. But whatever.
I have
no hope right now.
Yeah, give it to Paul Thomas Anderson, and he'll cast, he'll cast, what's his name? Daniel Day-Lewis, so that's like the main character.
That would be amazing. He would get so into it.
Yeah.
I have not watched the new trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2, but apparently it shows a lot of the... I meant to, and I was like... When I saw this, I was like, oh, I knew I forgot to watch something before we started.
I'm kind of just trying to stay away from like the hype in that game, so...
I agree. I'm kind of just waiting for it to come out and then decide if I'm going to play it or not.
Yeah.
Superhot, a game that I know you liked and Daniel has told me he likes. There's going to be a new one. It's based in Japan. And it's actually being made by a Japanese developer, Game Tomo, right now. So it's going to come out in Japan first and then might come to other regions. It's going to have 15 to 18 regular levels and 3 to 4 endless levels for PS4 and PC. So you think a Superhot and set in Japan would be...
There'll probably be a lot more katana swords.
Hey, that's cool with the way that technology, the way that they do that game. I'd be down for that.
I mean, I'll give it a shot if it comes out here.
So, a lot of talk was, this is like from last week, I think, because it's been like a couple weeks since we did the show, but there was a deal from the FTC that came out telling companies, namely game companies, because they're the ones that deal a lot with the warranty issues and stuff with their, with the consoles getting broken or broken into or whatnot. So basically the FTC came and told Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony, and other companies that telling them they cannot have any kind of third-party repair is illegal, and that you have to change the wording in your terms of agreement, or the FTC might actually take legal action against them. This was also sent to HTC, Asus, and Hyundai as well. Interesting. You get a phone company, a computer company, and a car company all mixed into that as well. And what do you think this does? Like, Do you think this really means anything for these companies?
Well, I think for small repairs it should be fine. Like if your DVD drive goes out on your PS4, you should be able to replace it. But if something like major happens, I don't even think like most stores will be able to like fix it or repair it correctly.
Right.
Yeah, I always thought that like if sticker is removed, warranty is void thing was like complete nonsense.
Yeah, I always thought that was weird too. I mean, I had some third party person repair the laser in my PS2 a couple of times. This is obviously it was out of warranty by then, so I didn't really have an option, and it works fine. Now, obviously, not every repair works how you intend it, but
I mean, if they actually cared about this stuff, they would, like Microsoft and Sony and these places would have like actual licensed repair centers around. Like they wouldn't have like on every corner, but like if you're for like moderate to big cities, like if your 360 breaks, just take it into a store, the Microsoft
partner
store
with Best Buy or something like that.
Yeah, and say here you fix it. Like they're actually, it's gone now, but there actually used to be like a Sony repair center like in a few towns over from where I am, like
really?
just in like in a mall. Yeah, you could take all your Sony crap there and get it fixed, but it hasn't been there for like 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, weird that they never really gotten too serious about it, but I think that they have made such a... It's been this way for such a long time now that I think they never really thought about it.
Yeah.
But now perhaps this might change their view on things. Who knows?
I mean, it'd be nice, but I think they're going to have the same view as like, oh, if it breaks, just buy a new one.
Yep.
Or, send it to us, and then the cost of sending it to us and then having us fix it, it's the same as buying a new one by itself.
Basically, yeah. That's what the one thing they need is... You would hope that these third-party places would change that cost, and...
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff with retro going on this week as well. We had another week like that before that we talked about on here, but SNK announced the Neo Geo Mini, so they are now in that whole business of bringing their old games back in console form. It's going to come preloaded with 40 games. It's a 3.5-inch LCD screen. That's pretty small. And yeah.
Not even that. This whole thing looks pretty bad, I think.
It's like a little arcade cabinet, basically.
Yeah, the arcade cabinet itself looks kind of cute, but like the joystick looks terrible, and so do the buttons.
Yeah, and SNK has fighting games, so you're not gonna want to play those on that.
Yeah, even like a 3. I think it's a 3.5-inch screen. It's like, well, unless I get like a big magnifying glass, like I'm not gonna hunch over and like be like a foot away from this thing as I play it.
You can play it on your TV because it has an HDMI port, and it has 2 external controller ports and headphone jacks. So, what do you think they're gonna charge for this?
$100.
Yeah, because they'll probably, with the arcade cabinet look, they'll probably charge like $20 more. Yeah.
Guess what just happened? Like an hour ago, and a half ago, Boss Key just shut down.
What?
Yep. Statement from Cliffy B saying like we are no more, and
wow.
I guess that Radical Heights game didn't do too well.
Probably not. Yep. Wow.
I mean, it's a shame, but like, what do you expect? Like, they just kept trying to chase a trend.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, unless you're PUBG and you just get lucky and you're the one that
catches. I mean,
yeah, catches. This is not going to work.
And
I love the fact that their whole statement is, well, we failed to gain traction, but ultimately it was too little too late. Like, really?
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm sorry, Cliffy B.
Like, and even Fortnite only caught on because it's free to play.
Right.
People don't care about like Fortnite's actual game mode that was shipping with the original game. They
The
just care about their
story
battle
part,
royale.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But what else?
Guillermo del
Yeah.
Toro's making a Netflix horror anthology series. Awesome.
No, because look at the past 10 things he's announced that never came to be.
Well, if it actually comes to be, then yes. But I agree with you that
It's like, oh, what's his name? The same guy who does Brian Fuller. He's bounced from 3 or 4 different TV shows in the past like 2 years.
yeah, he dropped the Star Trek Discovery.
For the vampire show and for like the Amazing Stories reboot, and then he's not part of either of those anymore. And it's like, okay,
What the hell, dude? Like, figure it out, man.
And he was part of American Gods, and he left that as well.
Yeah, he left that. That's getting season 2's coming. Next year?
Yeah, but he also took out like two actors with him. It's like, thanks.
Well, that nice. Really helps.
That's a nice parting shot.
Yeah. I still need to watch Shape of Water. One of those.
Sure, fine, but like Guillermo del Toro is like one of the worst guys who go, "Oh, I'm going to make a movie," and then like 6 months later, it's dropped.
Well, I loved Masters of Horror back in the day, so if he can make something akin to that, I'm all down.
Or even like Tales from the Crypt. I mean,
yeah. Remember that saga? They were trying to bring that back. It was like M. Night Shyamalan, right? He was trying to bring that back, and then nope. It's like, you have been denied. So more retro stuff. Sony, I guess, is learned from Microsoft, as Microsoft is now touting that they have over 1 billion hours of backwards compatibility through the original Xbox and Xbox 360 games on their systems. The PS Now is now going to have PS2 classics, which really isn't that difficult considering that they're already like doing the whole PS2 classics on PS4 thing.
Yeah.
So that's really just kind of porting those over into PS Now.
And it's some like really weird picks initially.
Like Dark Cloud 2, Limbo, Metal Slug 3, Limbo, which is already on PS4. Why would you need the PS2 version?
Yeah.
The Mystery Chronicle One-Way Heroics, which I've never heard.
That might be some, who knows.
Sin Mora, Siren, which
great.
is an awesome... Siren is an awesome horror game, and Last Blade 2. And also Blaze Blue, Chrono Phantasma Extend.
And Ape Escape.
Good lord, yeah, Ape Escape is worth it, but like, also Axis, please stop with the ridiculous names to your games.
Yeah.
That's Chrono Phantasma Extend. What? Does that mean anything? No.
It's a Blaze Blue game. It means nothing.
It means nothing exactly. But I mean, I don't know if this really adds anything to PlayStation Now. Until they make it to where you can download the game to your system, it's still the same thing.
Yeah. Even then, like, this is such a hodgepodge of, crappy title. I mean, you like Siren, but
yeah,
I know, half these titles are like complete garbage. And I think even
Dark Cloud 2 is really good.
Sign Mora just came out on PS4.
I know. That's what are they? I mean, it is what it is. Sony's trying, but I feel like it doesn't really matter because they just reported they have like 80 million PS4 sold now. So
I think it might have been EA, but some company like calculated, and they're like 2.5 times as more PS4s and Xbox Ones. And I was like,
ridiculous.
That That's not a huge surprise.
Yeah. Did you see that EA still made like $5 billion or whatever it was?
Yeah, and they're also seemingly abandoning already Battlefront 2.
Yeah, they don't mention Battlefront 2 at all in that press release. So, aside from the travesty that was Battlefront 2, their sports games still made them like $5 billion, so they don't care. Shows you how much, you need there. But, so the big sort of story that's been out for this week has been the Nintendo Switch Online reveal, which still costs the same amount of money that they've been saying it was going to cost. That's not the thing. Apparently, when it launches in September, along with Super Smash Bros., you would think, cloud saves are now available on the Switch. You still don't have a way to back them up, but you can do cloud saves. And you're also going to be able to play 20 classic NES games.
Some of these games are pushing the word classic a little too much.
I agree. The cool thing, I guess if you consider it cool, if you, like say Mark and I are playing, we could technically play Donkey Kong together. Not co-op, but we could like pass the controller to, what they call it, passing the controller. Where, if Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong both died and then he had to start the level over, he could pass me the controller and I could play on his save. That's kind of cool. I like that idea. It's like as if you had your friend at your house, but not. And it's
except Donkey Kong, you play as Mario,
right?
Actually, Jumpman.
Yeah, and
isn't this like the share play stuff from like PS4?
Basically, but it has no time limit, whereas the share play has like 30 minutes or something like that.
And I don't know about you, I've never used share play.
I have not either,
once.
but also I think once they put the limit on it, people stopped using it.
Yeah, but I've never even like had an offer or like never even like been inspired. Like I'm not gonna play God of War and just go like, hey, do you want to play this game? It's like, I mean, I could, like, if you wanted to play God of War on my system for a half hour, that's fine. Even if it was like unlimited, it was just kind of weird.
Yeah, I got the appeal for it. I think with Nintendo products, there's always that appeal sometimes.
I think like if the game is like co-op, like
Donkey Kong, Mario.
Not Donkey Kong is not co-op.
I thought you could play with the other person could play Diddy Kong.
No, because Diddy Kong was a Donkey Kong country invention. Donkey Kong 1 is...
Donkey Kong, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Or I'm thinking of the wrong thing. Yeah, Donkey Kong.
Yeah, you play as Jumpman and you're trying to rescue Pauline from evil Donkey Kong. No, like, Super Mario Bros. 3, like, that might be fine. Because, I mean, there is that two-player mode. Dr. Mario. But, like, how does co-op in, like, The Legend of Zelda work? Like, I guess, like, the other character just controls Link, but...
I think that's where it's not necessarily co-op. It's the whole just pass the controller. Like he dies, and then you pass it on to that person to play until they die or whatever.
But you have like 10 games listed here, I think, and the only game that's like ringing out as co-op to me is like maybe tennis, and then
soccer,
Mario Bros, the original one, and then Mario Bros 3.
Because the rest of these. Ice Climbers is 2-player, right?
You there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think the NES version of Tetris, that is 2-player technically, but not the NES version, not the Nintendo version. They made a crappy one.
Well, I mean, they could add that in. It's not like, They're going to add online functionality to this that I think is also besides the whole passing the controller thing, so they'll figure out something.
Yeah.
I think this is a good idea. I think it's a good idea in practice.
I'm not saying it's bad. Like, really, if it was like Super Nintendo games, that'd be cool.
Well, that would be great. Like, And they also added a family plan, which for $35 you can have up to 8 Nintendo account holders use the service on different systems.
Is it 35?
Yeah,
I thought it was just
$34.99 for the family.
Oh, okay, I thought it was just
It's
20.
20 for a year for just you.
Okay, individual, yeah.
Yeah. So, but I do think that right now this has the NES like tagged onto it. So like I think it's called like Nintendo Switch Online, Nintendo Entertainment System something.
Yeah.
Which is stupid, by the way. But like Nintendo, just go with Nintendo Switch Online. We're good. But I think right now they're set on the NES. I would think that along with that, the NES Classic is also coming back into stores in like a month and a half.
I may try to pick up one of those.
I'm thinking about it. I have to go find the extra long
cable cord.
But yeah. You know, the thing is, I think the bigger thing on this, I think that some people were upset about. I've seen a lot of polls that people seem to not care too much about the fact that it's not coming, but no virtual console. So that whole time that everybody's been going, okay, when's virtual console coming? When's virtual console coming? And no, and I think it's probably a better idea because they were not gonna honor your buys. So you were gonna buy these same games again.
For possibly a third or fourth time. Because you probably bought them on Wii originally, Wii U, and then 3DS, possibly.
Yeah. So I think this leaves it open for them to eventually, depending on how many people buy the online, for them to add more games. Of course, I would assume that this also means that people got to be okay with prices going up, which I would be totally okay with if this means you're going to get for eventually $60, you know, NES, SNES, 64, GameCube games available, then I'm down. But, you know, I think you do have to eventually add more than NES games at some point. I mean, they don't have to, but this also rotates like Game Pass, so they will add more.
Yeah, I just saw like the news story that like Game Pass is ditching a bunch of their games.
Isn't that every month though they ditch games?
No, like a lot more than you would expect.
Ooh, probably means it's not doing what Microsoft wants to do.
Yeah, 21 titles at the end of the month.
Ouch. Well, some of them have been on there from the beginning, so I think it was only time.
It's only like 2 Xbox One titles, but the rest are like the 360 games.
Oh, okay.
I guess you're going to lose Defense Grid 2 and Blood Bowl 2 on the Xbox One. It's like, oh no, what will I do now?
Oh, Lord. Blood Bowl 2 is also a freaking hard-ass game to understand. It has its own like subculture that I had no idea existed.
But like the ones from the Xbox 360 list are like XCOM, Pac-Man Championship DX, Soul Calibur, Borderlands. All 3 of the BioShock games.
All the games that people probably have already.
Yeah, should have played or are re-released in the console as it is, except for I think XCOM.
You can get the collection. It's probably pretty cheap now.
About $20.
That's not bad at all to get 3 really good games. So people should.
I wouldn't know. When I tried to review that collection on PS4, it didn't work out.
So speaking of really good games in parentheses, because some of these are just there for the fact that they are old. The Straw Museum's World Video Game Hall of Fame has inducted 4 more games. Of course, technically the first ever game, the one made at MIT called Space War, was inducted, and technically the first console game was the one made for the Odyssey 2. I can't remember the name of it right now. You remember?
No.
Oh God, he like. But anyway, the John Madden Football is in Tomb Raider. I'm guessing the whole series and
No,
Final Fantasy.
Tomb Raider is just the first one, actually.
All right, fair enough. And then it's Final Fantasy 7. So more love for Final Fantasy 7. And now it's officially in the Hall of Fame.
I haven't played Space War. I mean, I can't imagine.
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody can.
But like those 3 games, like they started a lot of important trends. Like I don't care about football, but even I'll give it for like the first Madden game for sure. That was actually I think a PC game too.
Yep. I remember having like I would go to a friend's house and play like Madden 93 or whatever on their Genesis, and I think the first one I had was like 96 for the SNES.
Yeah.
So
they were I think they were cranking those games out for like the SNES and Genesis like way later than they should have been.
Oh yeah. I think like 98, 99 still was coming out for. I think 2000 was the first 64 one. So
it at least came to Madden 98. At least came to the SNES.
Damn.
Yeah, it looks like 98 was the last one for the SNES, and even for like, when they had the PS2 and Xbox switch over from like the PS1 and Saturn, like I think they made like a 2003 version, 2004 version of like Madden for the PS1.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, guys, I can't imagine too many people are playing that, Madden 2004 on the PS1.
Right. But they're making them, so probably don't have to do much with them either. At that point. So something that you might be familiar with. I don't know, since you play World of Warcraft.
Yep.
There's a player that carried out a DDoS attack on Blizzard servers back in 2010 called Kalen Mateus. He's from Romania, and he has to serve a year in jail for a DDoS attack. And, well, that sucks for him. Do you think that actually somebody going to jail over this is going to stop people from doing this more frequently, or?
You'd hope. Like, I mean, I think it's the same thing as like swatting. Like some person getting pissed in an online match and calling like a SWAT team on a guy. Like those people should go to jail.
I think that guy that did it for Call of Duty did go to jail for a while.
Yeah.
Remember.
Like this is, I think for WoW it's a little more high profile, but I think there was some stories for like EVE Online, like when they were going to do like some big raid. Like I think there was like stories of like people getting their power cut off, like someone calling the power company and saying like, "Oh, I'm really this person. Stop my service," and the people like
wow.
The person still lives there.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, people get obsessed with one type of game, which it's like get a life or get a girlfriend.
I think the Fortnite people are actually going after this 14-year-old.
Yeah, they're approaching this level.
Yeah, they're going after this 14-year-old, and his mom actually tried to do everything she could to say that he didn't agree to the terms of service or whatever because he's underage, and they're like, nope, that doesn't work. And
yeah,
this is going to be interesting how that's gonna go down. Capcom has been all about releasing their old stuff for God knows how long now, because until Monster Hunter World, they have not been able to make
that. That's one thing. I kind of want to see if they announce it or if they show it. Is their like supposed Resident Evil 2 remaster or remake?
Well, supposedly Capcom has like 2 big games that they're going to announce that are supposed to carry them for a while or whatever at E3. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But Mega Man 2 30th anniversary cartridges and Mega Man X 30th anniversary cartridges are coming out for $100 a piece. Thanks to the IMA Bit people, along with Capcom. They're coming September 2018, and you can go pre-order them now if you like.
I really wish I could get the Mega Man X one.
These look pretty. I mean, they look cool. They're blue. The Mega Man 2 one that I'm looking at here is like it's blue and it has a cool box.
Yeah, and they also like it's like one out of every 8 copies will be like the see-through blue glow in the dark one.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they're thankfully omitting the language this time that I saw that like playing this cart in your SNES won't make it catch fire, which is probably good.
Yeah, that would be good to tell people.
Yeah, I honestly think $100 might be a little too much, but that's just me. Like, I think if it was $80, I'd probably get into it more.
Right.
Or like, I would say like $80 for like the regular and $100 for the special edition would be cool.
That seems fair.
Yeah.
But people will probably pay this, so.
I mean, that Street Fighter 1 sold out pretty instantly.
Oh, it did?
I think this might still be active, but like the Street Fighter 1 sold out in like 2 days. It was nuts. But they made like only 5,500 copies of that one, so that's why.
Yeah, that's what, like 3,000 less than what they're doing for this.
Yeah, and this is 8,500 each, so that's 17,000.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll probably still sell out.
Yeah,
because collectors, anything that says limited edition, people usually go after, but
myself included.
Well, we'll see
when I can.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all have a little bit of that here and there with certain things, so it is. We'll see, but I like this idea from Capcom. Celebrate 30th anniversary in a different style. It's something you can like have on your. I don't know where you want to have it, but.
On your pedestal in a glass case. When the dollar finally tanks and gold isn't worth anything anymore, you can go, I still have this Mega Man X cartridge for.
The PSP emulator. There's apparently a built-in PSP emulator in the PS4.
Well, in one certain game.
Yeah, and Parappa the Rapper apparently was used for it. I mean, if it's really in there, you should do that with more PSP games, Sony.
Well, there's a few problems. First off, like, I mean, it's only in this one game, and like they basically, it's like running the PSP game just like with a higher res texture pack, which is super weird.
Yeah, really.
And then only, I mean, hackers figured this out, obviously. So, I mean, most normal people can do this with their system. But, like, I saw something today, like, some guy tried, like, 25 PSP games, and, like, only one worked. And it was, like, Lumines. So, when they re-release Lumines on PS4, you'll know what it's running on.
Yeah, so that seems to indicate that if you're getting a PS4 remaster, it might work.
And then, like, I think it was, like, the game limit has to be like under 870 megabytes, which most PSP games were larger than that. So that's probably why this emulator doesn't work like for most games.
Yeah, I would assume so.
But it's still like an interesting anecdote.
Yeah, I like that they do this, but then obviously, they don't really want you to know that it's there.
Yeah.
So Hasbro has officially bought Power Rangers for $522 million, including 2 other brands that probably nobody cares about. I don't know.
You don't care about Treehouse Detectives?
Not really. Or My Pet Monster. I mean, do you think this means like more movies, or it stops the movies, or?
Well, they weren't making a Power Rangers 2, so I think this will lead to like a Power Rangers versus G.I. Joe movie.
That'd be interesting.
No, Power Rangers versus Transformers. Sorry.
Oh, actually, well, I need to see that. Even though it's like 2 Zords against like 20 or
Yeah.
whatever. But
Like, I think it's kind of weird because like there's already a bunch of deals in place, but I think also like Power Rangers just cut off ties with the main company who's making their toys. So that's another reason why this probably happened.
yep, because now Hasbro can make their toys. So
Yeah. I kind of wouldn't mind another movie. Like I thought that like the reboot was fine. At least set up a decent a decent groundwork. Like they could have built off that.
I agree. I would like to see another. I like that movie too. So
and I thought like Elizabeth Banks was great
as Rita.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I thought she was hilarious.
Yeah, she was awesome in that movie.
She was truly seen like none other.
They should have her in the TV show.
Well, that's another thing. Like, where does the TV show go?
They got to keep that going, right? I mean, it's still been going on for all this time, and it's still doing enough for them to keep it going.
But the TV shows, like the past few seasons, have not been great. Like they did some anniversary thing. I think I want to say two series ago. It was called like the Legendary Battle, like for their anniversary. And like the Japanese version, they had 150 Rangers. They had like most of the original cast from all the different Sentai series in this thing. And like the American version, they had like 10 original actors show up. And it's like, this is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, a few of the original actors from like all the Power Rangers shows have died or been in jail or stuff like that, or they're just busy doing other shit.
Mm-hmm.
But having 10 like random actors like just show up, it's like this is pitiful.
Sadness all around.
You also forgot the biggest game story of the past 2 or 3 weeks as it is.
What is that?
The pinball tables getting pulled.
Oh boy!
I'm not kidding. Like, this annoys the hell out of me.
Oh well, yes. For you, that's what I was waiting on it. But so what's happening? Is they're pulling the pinball tables from
Pinball Arcade. Well, like the licensee for like I think Williams and Bally, I think.
Mm-hmm. Which that's a huge licensor for.
Yeah, like that's like they're pulling 60 tables from Pinball Arcade, and it's the tables you want.
Yeah, that seems
because it's stuff like
it's almost like no point to playing that game now.
Yeah, well, it's the nice thing is it's happening the end of June, so you'll have time to pick up the seasons that you want, or the titles you want, which is nice. Like at least you're giving some warning ahead of time. Just booting it up one day and going, wait a minute, I can't buy any of this shit now. But yeah, it's tables like the Addams Family, Black Knight 2000, F-14 Tomcat, Terminator 2, Star Trek, Twilight Zone. So it's big tables.
Jeez.
So anyone who wants to help donate to the cause to help buy me more tables, let me know.
So how much are these tables?
I think an individual table, I want to say is like $7 or $8. Maybe $5. A regular season is $30, and like the pro season is $40. And the pro like the difference between like the pro and regular is like you get like some different options and like cheats essentially. Like you get like ball control, which is nice.
So like, how many of these tables do you want that they're getting rid of? Have you like counted?
It's called all of them.
Oh jeez.
No, I already have seasons 1 and 2, and that's like, a decent chunk. But there's 3 or 4 more seasons left.
Well,
and it's like,
that's
oh man,
really sad.
I'm never gonna be able to play Gorgar again. Oh no. Yeah,
Well,
and they're keeping Stern, which I could take or leave, honestly. And I think they're keeping Data East, which sucked, and one other company as well. Maybe Sega. But the problem with Sega is like a lot of their titles were also licensed.
yeah.
So you're not going to see like the Apollo 13 pinball table.
Hold on. You gotta be kidding me. I
What?
just got interrupted for a stupid computer calling me. That pisses me off. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how long that was just on silent for people, I'm sorry. But that pisses me off so bad. I thought it was like some
Emergency or
urgent number that I don't know, and it's some dumb computer. Great.
Yeah.
But I remember Data East from like the Super Nintendo days making games. So.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But yeah, like I'm buying one stupid toy tomorrow, but after that, most of the extra money I'm going to try to get is going to go to these pinball tables.
Well, best of luck with getting that. The long-awaited decision has finally been made. Rick and Morty has been renewed. Not that I watched this show. But,
I couldn't give a damn about it, honestly.
Gary started watching it, so he talks to me about it here and there, and like, this is another one of those that like Funko releases some kind of pop for them constantly, so they are always being talked about. So they usually have like 31 episodes a season. They have 40 for season 4, so either that means that they are really doing gangbusters and it was all about like money or something like that, or perhaps this indicates that maybe they're going away after season 4. 'Cause usually when they start doubling up on episode numbers, that means they're thinking about not having any more, but we'll see. Same guy that did Dan Harbin does stuff with this show, so look, I know a lot of people that love this show, so I'm sure they're excited. I know there's a lot of people that are wondering why the hell we're doing 70 episodes. Usually that means we're getting a bunch of filler, but hey, you got your renewal, so be happy about it.
Yeah, like it'll shut up people for a while, so that's good.
Yeah, because that was a constant badgering Dan Harmon about it. I think it was like a money thing though, like Adult Swim didn't want to pay something. I don't remember what it was exactly, but
well, it's double, like I think you said, or I'm not sure, but it's double the number of all the episodes combined out right now.
Jesus.
Because they only have 31 episodes out, I think.
Oh wow, first 3 seasons of 31.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So it's double that and a little extra.
Well, at least you got a lot of Rick and Morty.
Yeah, to keep people happy for a while, hopefully.
However, sadly, we have to hear about cancellations every year. There's been about, I want to say 17 so far. Most of them have been kind of under the radar or, 1-year shows, and it's not been that big a deal unless you're, a Quantico fan or something like that. But some big names got hit with cancellations this week. And, of course, it's Fox because they love canceling shows. Last Man on Earth, which I know Gary was a big fan of. Brooklyn Nine-Nine got saved at the end by NBC. The Mick.
I'm happy about that.
I watched the first season of that show, and then I don't know why I tailed off and stopped watching.
No. But. See, I'm weird. I've actually only seen one episode of that show, but I'm happy everyone on that show gets to have a steady job. I actually like Andy Samberg, and I like Terry Crews a lot, and I like Andre Braugher a whole lot.
A lot of people on that show are great.
I'm actually just waiting for that show to come to DVD or Blu-ray, in one package, because that show kind of just want a marathon.
That's fair enough. I could understand that.
If they make 8 seasons, I'll be go for it.
Yeah, at least it reaches a more stable home in NBC where it might stay around a while. The Mick was also kind of popular, so I'm surprised that it got canceled. And, of course, the one that hits both of us is Lucifer. It sucks.
I imagine... I don't know if they will or not. It'd be nice if it went to Netflix or Hulu or some more adult network.
Yeah.
But it could also go to I think maybe CW.
I could see that.
You know,
would they keep the entire cast, though, if it goes to CW?
That's a problem. I think one of the problems with that show is the cast got a little too bloated, especially in this season.
Oh, yeah. God, it felt like every other episode they were introducing someone.
I would say, obviously, keep Lucifer, the detective, her little kid, Maze. They could honestly ditch the doctor, I think. Like, I like the actress.
Yeah, I like her,
but
too.
It kind of just goes nowhere most of the time.
I feel like you have to keep, what's his face? The brother...
Amenadiel, yeah.
Yeah, Amenadiel.
And keep the ex-husband, because he's just a great character, or great comic character.
Yeah, he's such a douche, but he's funny. I don't know, the mom comes kind of... She's... I don't know. I like her, but she's also kind of gets on my nerves, so...
Yeah.
Especially with the whole I'm trying to be good now thing. Like, okay. I liked her when she was, like, the mom. And then, this season has been kind of... So, I don't know. I feel like with CW, because they're such a... They focus on, like, teens. Or that kind of demographic. They might lose some of the people, but who knows?
It's also, I think, it does better than most of their other shows. Like, just on a rating standpoint. And then also...
like, iZombie and Riverdale seem to do fine. And then all the DC stuff. But... I don't even get CW anymore, so...
Well, also, I mean, if it went to CW, they could tie it into, all their other shows.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't have Constantine show up in Lucifer, which... I think in the comics he actually did.
Oh, really? Oh, that'd be awesome if Constantine showed up in Lucifer. But then he'd have to be there more regularly, so...
Well, I mean, he's already on Legends of Tomorrow. Or, he is soon.
True.
But...
I hope it does get saved. Like, even if... Like, I'd love for, like, FX or something to pick it up, but... Oh, well, that's still Fox. Never mind.
Yeah, but it's slightly different network, but I know what you mean. But...
well, Disney would own it if they ever have that go through, because now Comcast is trying to come in and take that over.
I see all these people, like, from last night going, like, oh, renew Timeless, and it's like, Timeless has worse ratings this year than it did last.
Like, it got canceled again?
Not officially yet, but the rating's kind of on the wall.
It's sad. I like that. So that's like the one show this season that I'm keeping up with. Aside from Westworld and, like, John Oliver, so...
See, the big shows I'm watching are, like, Westworld and Legion.
I still need to watch Legion at some point.
I'm kind of hate watching The Flash at this point.
You're just watching it to watch it?
I'm watching it and just kind of shaking my head going, like, man, this show used to be good.
Is Green Arrow still good, or you not?
I've never actually watched Green Arrow. I don't know.
I've heard a lot of good things, so...
Like, it was funny, The Flash, because I think this season they're like, oh, it's going to be like a return to form, like a return to season 1. And, like, the first, like, 2 or 3 episodes, it was kind of. It was, like, a fun superhero show. And then it just got dour and depressing and stupid all over again.
Oh.
Like, all right.
That's the worst.
You tried your best, I guess. I mean... Keep cranking out Legend of Tomorrow, because that's the only good one you make.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about that. Everybody keeps talking about it.
Yeah.
One of these days. So 2 movies are getting third installments. Bill and Ted 3 is happening. It's called Bill and Ted Face the Music. And Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter will come back for it as well. I mean, that's one of those movies that if those two are not going to be in it, you're not doing it. They kind of both have to be in it. But hey, cool. Bill and Ted, the movies were always fun. So
I hope they get back William Sadler as Death somehow.
Need to make it happen, folks.
Because they're obviously not going to get George Carlin.
No, that's not happening. Sherlock Holmes 3 is also happening. Guy Ritchie's not going to be directing those, so I don't know if that's good or bad.
I never saw those movies. Like I've heard they're okay, but
I liked both of them.
I've seen Sherlock. I like that more.
Yeah, that show is great. But yeah, and they always come out at Christmas time. This is going to come out Christmas 2020. I actually saw the second one on Christmas that night. So, they're really good movies. I like Robert Downey Jr. as Sherlock, so it's fine. I mean, it's not as good as the Sherlock show, but Sherlock show is better than a lot of freaking shows. So there's that, and it has the wonderful idea of we're not going to make 1 million episodes. We're just going to make like 3, and that's a season.
Well, that's British. That's most British shows for you.
Yeah. So, as Mark talked about, Dragon's Crown Pro comes out tomorrow. Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey Redux, which is a remaster of the Strange Journey game. Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition comes out on Friday. And also, the long-awaited Detroit Become Human comes out on Friday. The release date got moved up. I don't know why.
Yeah, there's some demo out there on PSN. You haven't played it, neither have I. I'm just kind of interested. I don't know about you, but
I've never been a big fan of his games. So
I liked Indigo Prophecy a lot, kind of in spite of itself. Like it really wasn't the gameplay that much, but
yeah, people seem to be sort of talking about it. So we'll see how that goes. It's the next big Sony game.
Yeah.
Little Nightmares finally comes to Switch on Friday. You have the Wizard of Legend, which I've seen websites have like minutes from that on there, and a Little Witch Academia Chamber of Time also comes out PC and PS4 on tomorrow. So,
right. Some games coming out, but nothing till E3 really.
Yeah, probably nothing till E3, and that'll be when everybody gets hyped for. For what's coming.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
State of Decay 2 comes out like next week, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wonder how many people are going to care about that.
Yeah, I saw the Giant Bomb video and it looked like State of Decay.
Well, Microsoft better hope it does well because they don't have a lot left.
That's the thing is like that's a good friend, like that's a decent enough game, but it's not like a system seller.
No,
it's not like someone's gonna go, oh man, State of Decay 2, gotta go buy an Xbox One X for that.
Well, especially now with the Game Pass, and they can just like play it for a week, cancel Game Pass, and that's it. Like, that's what's so silly about that whole thing. But all right, that's it for this week. If you like what you heard here, of course, go and subscribe. Video Games to the Max, or just the whole W2 network in general. You can find us either way there. Go visit W2net.com. And, well, until next time, we'll see you later, everybody.
Later.